Hello everyone, my name is Chris Njoku. Today we'll be looking at Excel table. There are several things we need to know about Excel table and we're going to be taking them one after the other. A range of data, as you can see on my screen, can be converted into a table. In Excel data analysis, tables make it easier to structure and organize your data. Tables connect your cells in a range and put it in a fixed structure. The cells in the table range share the same formatting as we are going to be seeing as we progress. I want you to watch this video till the end. There are so many exciting information you'll be getting at the end of this video. You'll be seeing how to design tables, you'll be seeing how to name tables, and then you'll see practical sections of what our table can be used for. So stick around, let's get this done. Now, the first thing we're going to be looking at here is how to turn a range of data into a table. This data here is from cell A1 down to cell F22. For us to turn this into a table, we have highlighted the data. Next thing we do is to click on our Insert tab and then we click on Table. You can see your table is found on the ribbon. So you click on it and then it asks you question. Where is the data for your table? And this is it, properly covered. And it said, my table has headers. Yes, this table has headers because you can see column A contains names. So you're seeing name, Abra, Kandara, and then column B, type 1. So this is just the headings of the data. So row 1 is dedicated to heading. Whenever you're organizing your data and then you don't put heading in your data, it makes your data look very funny. And then when you get to analysis, you'll now be having some challenges. So make sure you check my table has headers and then you click on OK. So this is your range of data that has converted into a table format. So I can also show you a very quick way to do that. Let's go back and then I'll show you how to easily turn your range of data into a table. You can just select the data and then you click on Ctrl T and then you click on OK. You can see this is the data table. Now, moving forward, the next thing we're going to be looking at is how to name your table. So this is our table before us. And then when you create a table, this design tab is activated. When you create your table, this design tab is added to your tabs on your workbook. And so you can click on it, click on the design tab, and then look to your extreme left, you will find table name. So you can quickly change this table name from table 6 to whichever name. So I can just give it a name. Mind you, table naming convention does not allow space. If I give it a space now and then click OK, it will not accept it. So you use an underscore to join words or names together. So let's go this way. This is it. If I decide to take away that underscore and leave the space there, it will not allow me. So I hit my enter key. I've given my table a name. So let me click on design again. You can see table name, Chris underscore Joko. This is necessary because sometimes you might be working on 3, 4, 5 tables on your workbook. You need to name your tables so that you know the one you're working on per time. The tables all can be on this single worksheet, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. If you can name them properly, you will not have challenges when you are working on them. Now, the next thing we're going to be looking at is designing your table. Excel table has design, and it's very important for you to design your table to look exactly the way you want it. And one of those very beautiful thing about designing your table is that you can make tables look differently. You can have four tables now on this worksheet, and then you use table designs to make them look differently. They can all contain same data content but different table styles, different table designs. So that's the essence of doing that. Another thing you can achieve by designing your table is that it makes it easy for you to resize, remove duplicates, convert your table back to range, and even some style options. It even helps you in formatting. So it's very important that you know how to do that. So moving forward now, we are going to probably look at a few things we can do while trying to design our table. So I'm going to type out the three ways we can possibly resize our table so that we take them one after the other. So let's say resizing a table. So the first we're going to look at is using the resize table command. Resize table command. And two, we're going to look at drag to resize. And then the third on the list, we're going to look at adding headers. So these are the three methods we're going to look at. So the first on the list is resize table command. How do we resize our table? We do that by first selecting the entire table, and then we'll see the design tab active. So we'll click on it, and then we'll come down and look at resize table. You can see this resize table. You click on it. What you need to do here is either to increase the size of the table or you reduce the size of the table. Now, if you have not watched my video on absolute and relative formatting, you might not understand these dollar signs that are here, but I do hope you'll be able to understand as we discuss it. So the main thing you need to know here is that this data starts from cell A1 and ends at F22. So you are seeing A1, F22, $A, $1, F, $22. So the data is from A1 to F22. You can resize this data by changing it from A1 to, let's say, D5. So you can see we have changed this from A1 to D5. So we're expecting our data to be from this to probably this is D and then D5. So if we click on the OK, you can see what happens. Take a good look at this data. You find out that these other tables content are outside of this. This is the one that is active now. You can see from A1 to D5 is what is actually selected. Now, how do you know that A1 to D5 is the only part of the data range that is now in a table format? You click on any of the drop down and then you see that these other parts of the data are no longer part of the table. Now let's take a look at this. Let's look at the name column. We click on the drop down. You can see what we have here now is now Abra, Alakazam, Kadabra, and Matchup. Let's click outside to see. This is it from this very first name to this, which is within the data table range that we have resized it to. Now look at this other one, the type 1. We're only going to see from psych to fighting here. We're not going to see any other one. So when we look at this drop down, we're only going to see two categories, which is the psychic and then the fighting. So we click on the drop down, you can see we're only seeing these two. The other categories, the grass, the water, the rock category are now out of the table because we have resized the table to only be between A1 to D5. That is just another thing about resizing. If we want to take it to the original length, it's either we go back and resize it from the command that we used earlier by clicking on design and click on resize tab, and then take it from A1 to F22 and click OK. Okay, it say requires the reference. So we can give it the reference $A, $1, $F, $22. So this is what I was just trying to explain to you. So you can see we have settled that it has returned to its original size. Another way we can do that is just by going to drag. Let me do Ctrl Z so that it returns to this. We can drag it from here. You can see there's a mouse pointer here. We can hold down and drag it to get to where we want. You can first take care of the vertical, and then you drag this to take care of the horizontal. You can see we have been able to drag it to return to how we want it. So when you check this, you find out that it is still how it should be. You can see from A to the very last, which is the whipping there. So this is just how you can go about this. So there are a whole lot you can do, but then this is just what we have decided to look at in the table resizing command. So now we can click OK. Another way we can resize our table is the drag to resize, which we have actually looked at. This is just it. You hold down, drag it to where you want. You can first maybe go with the vertical dragging, and then you pick this to take care of the horizontal. So we have dragged to A1 and D5. So the very last, let me do Control Z. So the very last we can do is we can add headers. And so how do you do that? You can see the data as it is now. You can drag, you can see what I've done. I've dragged it, and then this headers we're seeing now, we can double click on it and give it a name. Let's say choice. You can see, and then double click on this, move it from column 2 and say duty. Okay. So you can see we have been able to add new headers to the data range. So we can decide to go by this. We have added headers, and then we're adding data to it. So we can go by this, say yes, no, yes. So click aside. So take a look at this now. You click on the drop down, you can see that what I've added is now there. You can see yes, no. You can see for choice, you can see 13, 20, 45 has been added. So these are just 3 ways you can resize your table to whichever size you want. You can resize it by using the resize table command. You can do that by dragging to resize, and you can also do so by adding headers and then filling up the various cells that are below the headers. So this is just information I think you should have about tables, because as you move further in Excel, when you get to VLOOKUP, when you get to pivot table, these are essential commands that you should know how to easily use. As you're advancing in Excel, there is need for you to have very good knowledge of tables, because you are going to be working with multiple of tables as you advance your Excel skills. So thank you very much for making the time to see this.